What's going on, guys? I'm T.O. and welcome to another vlog episode. If you don't already know, I do play live casino poker at a competitive level. Today we're out at Rama. See right there, Rama. We're up north, so we're gonna play some well, whatever we can play. We called in for 1-2 and 2-5 mainly, and that's kind of what I'm gonna do. I'm sticking by the rules, gonna stick by the rules of the challenge here. Hopefully we're gonna have a successful Q1 of 2018. And we hit our mark. We hit our $5,000 to $10,000 mark, hopefully on the high end of the 10,000. But we're gonna kind of see how it goes. As you guys could kind of tell, you know, look, we got snow, but at the same time, it's actually kind of warm here. You can see the water there. So, yeah, winter's here, man. Winter's in action. But today I actually ended up going ice fishing, and that's the picture, the thumbnail, way out in Simcoe. Lake Simcoe, middle of the lake. We ended up driving these, I don't know what you call them. They're like kind of ice trucks, maybe? I don't know. We were right in the middle of the lake, and we ended up doing ice fishing. It was cold. It was a little hot. We got 4 guys in there from work crammed together. But all in all, it was fun. We caught some fish, and I'm going to show you how that looks like. So enjoy. This is what Lake Simcoe is like, walking around with a camera on such cold weather. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that little segment there, but no more waiting around. I actually gotta hop in and play the 2-5. We're on the list. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna be positive and we're gonna have fun. So gonna see you on the inside. I'm not gonna do much scenery right now. My hands are getting a little cold. I do apologize. So I will see you in the review. Hey. What's going on, guys? And welcome to the hands. I know it's kind of been a little bit overdue since I put one of these out, but I've been a little busy, and during the WPT I just kind of wanted to play. Didn't really want to put in that many hands, and I didn't want to kind of like sit down and focus on doing a vlog. So I kind of cut that out. For the last week I was over at Niagara, actually Fallsview, and yeah, we were playing during WPT, but I did say one thing. I said that I was going to stick to 1, 3, and 2-5. I broke that rule, but I did say that I'm only going to jump into a 5-10 game if I feel that it is a profitable game and it's very juicy. And that's what happened. The opportunity was there. I took it, and it was a pretty good session. So I'm going to talk about that later, but for now, let's just focus on Casino Rama. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of the scenic walk and the shooting out in Lake Simcoe. That's way out north. It was freezing that day, man. Like, oh, absolutely cold. Hopefully you guys liked it. I don't know, maybe some of you have tried ice fishing before. Maybe some of you are Las Vegas or somewhere else, somewhere hot, somewhere like California, West Coast. You guys never really seen anything like that before. It was friggin' awesome. You put like your little what do you call it, the line down, and you're watching it go. Like, I've never seen the fish actually literally swim. They're doing like one of these, and you see them kind of like go for the kill. The thing's hanging, and boom, eats your bait. You hook it, you get your fish. It was awesome. I got really lucky that as soon as I put my first bait down, within seconds, like, there was a bunch of fish that swam by, and I just see this guy just coming in. He's coming in for the kill. Waiting. You gotta wait, and you gotta just snap and trap your opponent. Exactly like poker. You gotta be patient, attack, strike. One jab. That's all you need. One to the chin. Knock your opponent out that way. You don't need to throw out a million punches, man. Just one is all it takes. Just one hook, one bait, and you get him. So Anyways, let's just hop right into the hands, guys. I'm gonna try to keep this one sweet. Hopefully this intro wasn't too long, but I just wanted to say hi. I'm being personable. Hopefully you guys like that as well. So I don't know. Let me know. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Hopefully you guys have a pretty good start to 2018 as well. And yeah, let me know in the comments. Let me know how things go. If you want any tips or anything like that. I know that some of you guys were asking for like bankroll tips and whatnot, and what I feel is comfortable at a stake level, and that kind of varies from player to player. So I can't give 100% direct information or 100% correct information to that particular player. It all depends on your life situations, your life goals, what your monthly expenses are, your ins and outs, and you just gotta run a balance sheet and just make sure that everything kind of makes sense. You gotta have like a reserve and whatnot. But anyways, I'm gonna make a special video for that, so hopefully you guys will stay tuned. It's really long overdue. I want to make something like that for a while, but anyway, right into the hands. All right, so I got Ace King offsuit. We're an E1. We got 400. This is probably our 5th hand or something like that. It's definitely the first orbit, and 7-handed. Brand new game. Everybody just kind of sat down. I don't know anything about anybody. Nobody knows anything about me. These are all familiar faces. Never played with these guys before. So I opened a 20, standard open, cut off calls, small blind calls, big blind folds, and 3 guys take a flop. Flop is 7-5 king rainbow, and it checks around to me. I decide to bet 35, cut off calls, and the small blind folds. So far, it's looking great. We have a great flop for our hand. Ace offsuit on the turn. Now, at this point, I'm pretty much like sealed to the hand. I'm committed. If somehow he had a hand like Ace 5, Ace 7, he's pretty much paying us, and just the money's going in. So now I check, and he decides to bet 50 pretty fast. At this point, I decide to call, throw in a little bit of rope, and hope to catch him. 4 offsuit on the river. So that does bring in a straight, and I gotta definitely think about that hand, but it's 2 pair, man. We got Ace King top 2 pair on a rainbow board, so I think I'm gonna go with it. I decide to check to him again, and at this point he decides to bet 85, and then I jam for the rest of it, and then he calls in 3 seconds, and he flips over pocket 7s.
Lord, I pray you give me strength to carry on. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known.
So sick, man. I'm telling you, I wasn't able to get away. What are you gonna do? Hand number 2. So now we got 10-7 of clubs. We are 8-handed, 380 in front of us. Yes, it's a little short, but who cares? And we are on the button. We know a few players at the table. Most of them are retired. You know what I mean, okay? They are retirees. That's a lot of people up in Rama, man. A lot of people up in Rama are retired. They're there to have a good time. And they're pretty much like easygoing for the most part. They're kind of passive, not really doing anything crazy, being aggressive, big pots, and any of the stuff that kind of goes down in Niagara Falls and Fallsview does not really happen at Rama. So that's kind of the gist of this game at the moment, but it is a little bit different. There's like 1 or 2 players that are kind of pumping the action from what I've seen. But anyways, so let's just continue with the hand. So E1 was relatively tight, raises to 25, E2 calls, M2 calls, and I decide to call on the button because, well, we're raised from a tight player, so we don't want to really mess around with him. He's under the gun too. So anyways, post flop though, he does give up, so that's the good news. 4 ways to the flop. The flop is deuce, deuce, 6, 2 clubs, and E1 decides to continue for 40, which is a pretty dang low bet, as you guys can tell. Everybody calls, and at this point, I decide to call as well. See my flush draw, hopefully get a pair to make 2 pair, or try to like kind of take it away, because I do have the button, so benefit of the button, usually got position. 10 of diamonds on the turn. Really good card for us. Now we got the pair of people are on a flush draw as well, on a bigger flush draw. Now we got 2 pairs, so I think we're kind of committed with the hand, especially when it checks around to M2. Now, M2 out of nowhere decides to just bet 105. I got, 300 and change left. I decide to jam, folds around to him, and he calls pretty fast, doesn't think too much about it. Kind of makes like a bit of a sign call, but anyway, 3 of clubs on the river, and he's a little furious. I mean, man, like, why are you playing poker to get so mad? Yes, we all run bad sometimes. Sometimes we get rivered. But it just seemed like he was really frustrated. Maybe he was frustrated that he had a bigger flush draw and I sucked out with a 10. I have no idea. Anyways, he mucked his hand and we won that one. So that was good. Now we're on the way to hopefully recovering. We're still a little bit down. But hey, if I can just kind of like work my way up to only being down maybe a couple hundred versus like 2 binds or something, then I'm going to be happy about that. So hand number 3. We got the ace deuce of spades. We are on the cutoff. It's 9-handed. We ran our stack to 1,000 buckaroos. E2 limps, M2 limps. I decide to ISO raise to 30 bucks. And everybody folds around and they both call. Both older players. One lady retired. I think she's about, I would say in her 60s, early 60s or so. Definitely a little bit of an earlier retirement. And one of the other gentlemen, very funny comedic guy. He's definitely older. He's probably in that 80 zone, but awesome guy. He's always happy. He's happy to play, man. He's just there having a good time. And that's what poker is about. You're playing this game at a late age. You're playing this game when you're 19, when you're 20. Just remember, have fun. So it's awesome to see some of these players involved in the hand, because that's just shows you the longevity and the awesomeness of playing such a cool game. Anyways, ace, deuce, 8 offsuit. This is where it gets really weird. E2 decides to jam for 230 bucks, which is so odd, given that we flopped 2 pairs. Like, this is sick. She could easily have a hand like ace queen or ace jack, or maybe even ace king, because that's what these types of players do. They limp hands like ace king, and they smash an ace, and now they jam because they want to protect it. So what's weird is that now the 80-year-old tanks, and he tanks for maybe like 20-30 seconds, looks at me and kind of looks at the opponent, and then he puts in the rest of it. He puts in like another $100 or something. So now it's like a 3-way all-in on the flop. I pretty much call the rest of it. So essentially it's a 3-way all-in. There's no way I'm going to fold ace 2 for, such small amount of big blinds. And they both flip over ace 8. They both have top 2, man. How does that happen? They both have top 2. At least we got some backdoor equity. We got backdoor hope. So now there's a king offsuit on the turn, and our dreams just got shattered, unfortunately. So what are you gonna do? The river is a brick. It's an offsuit 6, and they both chop up a pot. They actually take maybe 5 minutes deciding on who gets what. They're trying to deal, like how they're gonna split my stack, and oh man. Now we wake up with the ace king of diamonds. We're in the small blind. We got 800 in front of us, 9-handed. M1 opens to 25, and she's the same lady that beat us with the ace 8 of hearts. I 3-bet to 75. Pretty standard 3-bet. Folds back to her, and she calls pretty lightning fast. King 10 4. 2 hearts. And I decide to bet 65 here, hoping that she does something silly. And she jams for 260 bucks pretty quickly. Just pushes her stack all in. All right. I mean, I'm calling. I put in so much money pre-flop, top pair, top kicker, essentially flopped the nuts. 2 bricks, and she shakes her head. She doesn't really want to show her hand, and I'm like, come on. Like, I paid to see her hand, and I'm just waiting. And then she says, missed flush draw. And I'm like, okay. I didn't want to be rude and just kind of like imply to see her hands, because I'm curious, man. Like, I'm curious to see what kind of hand you're calling a $75 3-bet pre-flop, and you're just jamming on that board. Like, I don't know. What do you have? Do you have like queen 9 of hearts? Do you have queen jack of hearts? Do you have like queen 5 of hearts? All this stuff matters, because down the road, I mean, I've played with this player before, but you definitely want to know what their calling range is like. Like, you can just bump it up even higher. Like, if these guys are calling with Queen 9 of hearts pre-flop to 3-bet, and they got a ridiculously small stack. I mean, you might as well just bump it up even higher. So definitely good to know this for the future. But, you know, I didn't want to be an asshole, so I just flip my hand over, and she flashes a Queen of hearts. So we don't really know what kind of flush draw she had, but she definitely had a Queen of hearts. So she probably would have said straight flush draw. She had like Queen Jack, but what are you going to do? This is where it kind of gets a little funny because this player is definitely a recreational player. He's driven 4 hours from even further up north. I think he's like somewhere out. I don't know. I don't even want to say where he is. I think like Tobermory or something like that. Maybe closer about there. But he's driven down to play Rama. That's like the closest good casino according to him. And he's excited. He's ready to play. He's been playing for like 30 minutes, maybe an hour. He's just kind of raising. He's in there every pot trying to outplay post flop. He's getting there. He's calling people down. People trying to bluff him. And he's ripping them apart, man. Like he's running good. Just getting extremely lucky. He actually sucked out on us like 2 or 3 hands earlier. But, you know, I'm not going to mention that hand because it was a smaller pot. Like, it was pretty much the hand that was going to break him. It's one of these things, like, he had a couple hundred left. I think he had, like, 150. Really small pot. But, anyways, he was in a spot where he was totally crushed. And he ended up coming out on top. Doubled up from there and then doubled up off some other people. And then doubled up again. And it brings us up to this hand. We got the 6-7 of hearts. We're in the big blind. We're 7-handed. And M1, who is our fun, entertaining, loose player from 4 hours up north. He opens a 20, and the button is a pretty conservative player. He also decides to call. He's here for a bachelor party, and he's also having a good time. So he calls as well, and I decide to complete after the small blind folds, and it's 3 ways to the flop. The flop is Queen 4-5. Rainbow. We do have a backdoor flush draw, which is great. We decide to check. M1 bets 40. And he's been betting quite a lot. So definitely expected this bet. And I definitely want to see a river card if he doesn't make it absurdly expensive. So turns out that the button folds as well. Heads up to the turn. So this is looking pretty good. Generally, he likes betting a lot on the flop and kind of giving up on the turn and on the river. So that's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting from him. So I'm going to see what he does on the turn. And the turn is a queen. Offsuit queen. And it goes check, check. I think he's got absolutely nothing at this point. Definitely better than 7 high, but gonna see if we can take it away. King on the river. So it's looking pretty damn good right now. Body language is looking like he's not really interested, like he wants to give up. And I think he might have a hand like potentially ace high, like a ragged ace. So is he really gonna call with an ace? He's been really calling down pairs. Like he's had pairs, second pairs, you know, like top pairs kind of thing, top pair, top kicker, or top pair, weak kicker. So those were a lot easier for him to make calls on, even like third pairs and kind of stuff like that. But when you got nothing, when you got just ace high, I think I could still take it away from him. So I decide to bet 105. I do want to maximize that fold equity at this point. So that's what I do. I'm pretty much hoping and praying at this moment. I'm just, come on, man. Like, please fold. You came 4 hours to fold. And he folds. He folds, man. He came 4 hours, drove 4 hours from up north down to Rama to get punked by Tio. That's always good. Anyways, so that pretty much concludes it. You know, it looked like we did win a few hands here and there, but honestly, we're still down. At the end of this session, we were down $400, so it was good. I mean, all in all, it was pretty much the hand that we lost in the beginning. We lost $400 that hand, and if we would have won that one, well, we would have been up a lot. So sometimes coolers happen, but you got to keep moving on. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And be sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy the video. If you didn't, well,